The red chili pepper and the tequila goes in first. Homebeerbrewery. Hello BrewTubers, and thanks for tuning in again on homebeerbrewery's channel. This time I'm standing in my kitchen. 10 liter Speidel Braumeister is on the stove under the hood. It's heating up 12 liters of strike water, so I'm going to mash with 12 liters of water. I corrected the pH with lactic acid. I'm going to do a pH test after the malts are put in. This is going to be an experimental brew again, not an official recipe to share with you guys, but this is one of my test brews that I really like to do. The special ingredient of this beer is going to be hot chili pepper. As you guys know, I have my own greenhouse and I planted myself some hot chili peppers. As you can see, really nice and red. They taste very good in the food. And I was planning to make a beer with chili peppers. There are several ways to add the chili pepper at the beer or the wort. That's during the boil. Just remove the seeds and chop it up and do it in a boil kettle and boil it for about 10 minutes left on a boil. That's one method. I'm going to try that in the future, but what I did is I chopped one hot chili pepper in large pieces and put them in a jar with about 40 milliliters of homemade tequila of 40%. This one has set for about 3 days already, and I'm going to add this after the fermentation is almost finished. So I guess day 5 or day 6 of fermentation, maybe I take a gravity sample, I'm not sure. But I put this in a fermenter and not at the boil. This is going to be an experiment. Quickly the recipe, very simple. I did already a test batch with Szechuan pepper. Don't know if I pronounce it right. Szechuan pepper. I used 2.4 grams of this type of pepper with my first brew. And it tasted very floral. It tastes like flowers, and the aroma is very flowery. Next time I need to do less of that pepper, but I plan to make a basic recipe all the time, the same recipe of malts, hops and yeast and water, ABV, so I can really taste the different ingredients. Strike water is almost ready. I'm going to dough in at 63 degrees Celsius and I'm going to share with you the rest of the mash schedule. I just put it on manual to achieve the dough in temperature. Well, I'm going to start the recipe and you can see 70 minutes at 63 degrees, 5 minutes on 73 degrees, 5 minutes on 78 degrees Celsius, and then boil. Maximum boil temperature 103 degrees Celsius. Hop additions, 60 minutes left on a boil. It's going to be the Yarilo hop, the 17 grams Yarilo hop. 15 minutes left on a boil. That's just a reminder for me to put in the wort chiller to get it sanitized. 10 minutes left on a boil. That's going to be a reminder for me to add the Wilflock tablet, a quarter of a Wilflock tablet for clearing, and about 2 grams of yeast nutrient. 5 minutes left on a boil. I have to look it up. It was a reminder for me, but I can remove this one. But I'm just going to let it in for now. 5 minutes left on the boil, nothing. 1 minute left on the boil. That's going to be the aroma hop, the 10 grams of citra hop. This is the recipe. Brew stout. Recipe 1 is the ale. Is the water filled in? Yes. Pump ventilation. Let's fill in the malt. Tiny malt pipe goes in like this. Filter plate and a screen, the original screen. Let's grab a spoon. Screen is at the bottom. Let's go in. Let's give it a good stir. And again, I'm going to check the pH again when the malt is filled in. So a very basic grain bill to detect the flavors of the special ingredients. I'm planning to make more videos with rare ingredients, although pepper in beer, chili pepper in beer is not a rare ingredient, but I have some ideas. And a batch size of 11 liters, about 10 liters in a fermenter is a really nice quantity. Well, screen on it. Filter plate. Een bar, stainless steel bar. Ring nut. And screw it down nice and tight, like this. Well, I'm doing this off camera, but I'm going to give the Braumeister the command to start brewing. And as you can see, wow, fantastic. No splatter, you can hear anything. Just a pump. The grains were about 17 degrees Celsius, and as you can see the temperature dropped about 3 degrees Celsius. But the heating element is on and it's starting to achieve the temperature of 63 degrees, and when it reaches the 63 degrees it starts the first mash step of 70 minutes. Timer has started counting. Temperature is 63 degrees Celsius for 70 minutes total. Waiting for the next step of the mash. Maybe you guys noticed that the Braumeister now has an isolation jacket on. It was a birthday gift of my girlfriend. On the end of October I turned 38 years old, and I received 2 isolation jackets as a gift. One for the 10 liter Braumeister and one for the 50 liter Braumeister inside the brewery. Not for the boil on the 10 liter version. I'm very convenient with it, with the boil, but it keeps the warmth inside it. It saves some electricity and it looks very neat, doesn't it? Some details about this brew. Brewfather calculated ABV of 5.3%. I didn't calculate the 40 milliliters of tequila in it, of 40%, so it will be eventually a little bit more. The original gravity should be 1.050, and I guess the final gravity will be around 1.0110. ABC on this one is 7.5, so very light colored beer, and IBUs is going to be about 44. I talked earlier about a roll flow tablet. This is a little bit more than a quarter. Roll flow tablet, 2 grams of yeast nutrient. I'm going to dissolve it in hot water and then put it in 10 minutes left on the boil, same as the roll flow tablet. Maybe you guys noticed on the background I have another filter plate, a mash screen, I have to say. I received 3 filter plates. I don't know if it's normal or I am very lucky to receive 3 pieces. I don't know, maybe it's a spare one, but normally in my cases you receive just 2 mash screens. So I didn't forget one. I have 3 mash screens. There are 2 screens inside the Braumeister. We're looking at a pump brake and it's starting again. This is the last mash step of 78 degrees Celsius for about 5 minutes. 3 more minutes to go. Here I have 3.7 liters of sparge water at about 77 degrees Celsius. It's 1 degree off. I wanted 78 degrees. Braumeister is ready to sparge. It's the end of mashing. Remove the mold pipe. Beautiful clear wort. Let's turn the wing nuts. And remove the bar that holds the mold pipe. Let's lift it out. Removing the filter plate. Let's lift it. First I'm going to add just a little bit of sparge water. Removing this mesh screen, filter screen. Closing the center hole where the center rod of the Braumeister was. So that hole is closed. Very carefully and slowly I'm going to sparge all the sugars out of the grains. Meanwhile I'm going to command the Braumeister to start boiling, so it saves a lot of time. I also corrected the pH of the sparge water with 2 milliliters of lactic acid. Lifting the mold pipe out in a bucket so it can drain the remaining water off. close the Braumeister, the lid on it. Trimming the speed of the flow speed of the pump a little bit down. Mashing is finished, so it's a nice flow right now. A little bit of sparse water left. That's everything. And this is the remaining wort. Waiting for the boil. Temperature of the water is now 97.5 degrees Celsius. Heating up goes pretty fast, about 1 degree a minute. So that's pretty awesome. We are almost at the boil. The total boil time of this brew is going to be 70 minutes. First hop addition at 60 minutes left on the boil. This is a little trick. The wort is already boiling, but the timer hasn't started yet. We're just going to put select, turning down the temperature and increase the temperature again and set select. Now timer has started because the wort is already boiling. The temperature of 103 degrees Celsius is never going to take place in this Braumeister and at this location where I'm boiling. So nice boil going on. I will show you the inside of the Braumeister again. Timer has started. In about 10 minutes we're going to do the first hop addition. Bittering hop, 17 grams of Yarilo. First hop addition, 60 minutes left on the boil. It's 17 grams of Yarilo. Cooling process is going to take place in a brewery. 10 liter Braumeister is pretty light with 11 liters of wort. Cool tap water is running through the submersible chiller. I'll show you a close-up of the temperature. Temperature is dropping rapidly. Going to switch to manual. Activate the pump when it's possible. Pump is switched on. Sanitizing our brew bucket. Before transferring the wort, I have to wait a couple of minutes more. You see, small whirlpool is going on. The first couple of centimeters, about 6, is already clear, but the troop hasn't settled. And you can see this. Let's put the lid away. A little bit less than 12 liters of wort inside the kettle. But I only need 10 is enough. Bed size is 11 liters. Dishwasher is ready. As you can see, the malt pipe is really nice and clean and shiny again. Ready for the next brew. These experimental brew days with the 10 liter Speidel Braumeister, I just make it myself easy and drop all the parts in the dishwasher. Works pretty well for me. The red chili pepper and the tequila goes in first. Opening the valve, transferring the wort into the fermenter. Taking a gravity sample. Well, this is about 1.050, I guess. This is the end of the clear wort. You see, let's check the inside of the kettle. Oh, close the valve. You can see the level of the wort inside the fermenter, so I don't know exactly how much wort is in there. I can measure this. 12 liters minus this will be a certain amount of wort inside it. I guess this is 10 liters. To directly sprinkle the wort on top of the foam. No rehydrating, you sprinkle it into the wort. This is the method I'm doing with the experimental brews. And this is always great to see. Braumeister tells me the wort is 20.5 degrees, and as his BrewTech tonometer is showing the same. Only thing what remains is attaching an airlock on it, wishing they're happy yeasties, becoming happy yeasties, and I have some cleaning up to do. See you back on the bottling day and taking a test sample.